Greetings everyone. My name is Radosław Młynarczyk and this is Business Untied, podcast by Invest in Pomerania. This is our second meeting, but we'll be circling around the same area as the last time. Last time we did a podcast in Polish, but now we're trying to spread our audience wider. As a quick reminder to those of you who haven't listened to the previous episode, we'll be focusing on the latest FDI European Cities and Regions of the Future 2024 ranking developed by the FDI intelligence team. Pomerania maintained its high 5th place in the effective FDI strategy category. Additionally, the region was recognized with the 7th position in the creating favorable conditions for business development. Today, I'll be talking with directors of Invest in Pomerania, Mikołaj Trunin and Marcin Grzegory, about whether potential investors pay attention to the rankings whatsoever, and also how much the business approach to Pomerania has changed, and as well as Pomerania's approach to business. So, hello lads. And we'll take it from the top. Marcin, what significance does the latest FDI intelligence ranking holds for us as a region?
Basically, it draws a lot of attention to the region itself as one of the top locations for innovation, for high tech. It's a PR marketing tool that we can use, and we are using for the 5th consecutive time. Therefore, I would say it's indispensable in reaching out to the potential investors, to the potential advisories that might advise their customers to come our way. Because those of the companies, of the organizations that have us on the radar as a potential site, they already know, they're well aware that we're somewhere there in the category of the high-tech hubs and places that have a proper strategy of evolving in that direction. However, as I said in the beginning, this is recognition. And the recognition is a conversation starter, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, but Mikołaj, you're dealing with industrial projects, industrial investors to be exact. These kinds of rankings, the best city, best region, in all categories that you can imagine. Does it even matter?
Well, it helps to create the story about the region, right? How we, let's say, sell the region, how we show the region for investors, right? So this is like very important part of our job, right? Everything starts from the story, right? And of course, then when we get the lead, right? When we work with an investor, when we show the plot and so on, right? There are other aspects, right, that are taken into consideration. But the story is like the starting point for any kind of project. Yeah.
You've mentioned the competitiveness of Pomerania region. What are our advantages exactly?
Well, that depends on the sector always, yeah. So like different projects need have different requirements, right? Of course, talent pool is I think universal, right? Whether we talk about IT, other business services, manufacturing, logistics maybe to a smaller extent, right? But generally, yeah, talent pool is like the key factor, and then it depends, right? When we talk about manufacturing projects, then the whole supply chain always matters, right? Whether it's there, I don't know, seaports are used or air freight cargo, right? So it depends, yeah. The prices of energy as well, it's like an important factor, but generally for the industry globally, and especially in Europe, if we have prepared investment sites, right? Or are there more infrastructural investment needed, right? So there's a number of factors, and each of the projects is different. Yeah, simply they take into consideration different factors.
Moving on to Marcin, what does the influx of the FDI have on the region? Because we're bringing more and more investors, it brings up the prestigious aspects of the region, but it can also have certain downfalls to the inhabitants. So obviously we're happy that the region is growing and it's on the map of various investors, but are there any downsides of to the inhabitants?
Yeah, I have two words for that. The phrase "growing pains," and it's sort of building on what Mikołaj said. It's sort of in the long run, we know that it's always attitude over talent, right? It's just like with humans. So it's getting the idea put into a plan and then sticking to a plan gradually, even despite the growing pains I mentioned. It's sort of yes, getting out of the comfort zone. This is what development is all about. So within the particular elements of life, like the growing costs of real estate, which is our number one thing here in Tri-City, because on one hand it's FDI and economical growth, on the other it's prestige and the most favorable holiday location. But this is also the Poland's capital of work-life balance, quality of life. And that goes together. We call it the 1-2 punch. It's a left-right. It's a knockout combo, that sort of in boxing terms. Therefore, it's getting more and more popular. But with popularity comes a price, right? And the price for the average Joe, for the average citizen, might be the price of real estate, a problem with finding a parking spot, and these kind of everyday pains that are your everyday churn. And not every person down there that we see, I'm looking through the window, not every person will live FDI and will live big economy in their everyday life, right? I feel the pains too, because I live here, I need to park sometimes, etc. etc.
That's generally development.
I commute, exactly. But this is development. Development means getting out of the comfort zone. Therefore, yes, just to sort of cap and to touch your question, yes, there are challenges. I wouldn't call them problems, I would call them challenges. As long as we're moving forward, there will be obstacles. And this is, let's remember that comfort is not the number one priority when you want to develop and keep growing. Therefore, as I said, it's difficult, but we feel and we know it's knowledge, not only a gut feel, that we're going the right direction. It's sort of facing the challenges, and I mentioned attitude. Our attitude is not only long-term strategy and sticking to a strategy which is constantly adjusted, but I would say that looking at the trouble ahead or at the challenges ahead preemptively, proactively, and trying to face them, trying to solve them, which always on our end needs a lot of cooperation, a lot more cooperation and designing cooperation, because we are the Tri-City. Everything that happened here, everything good that happened here happened because of cooperation, orchestrated success, cities working together, citizens working together. We're pretty sure that we're going to overcome whatever comes our way.
Yeah, and every challenge has its solution, right? The housing market is getting bigger, but the payroll is also increasing. If you cannot find a parking spot, you can also commute, right? Right, so the development of the business side of the city, it brings also the development of the living situations, and so on and so on. So the project as a whole of Gdańsk or Tri-City as a growing business center of the northern Poland is, to be fair, kind of successful.
I would just again build on what you said. We know that we need the business and the investments to keep on growing, to sustain the momentum, and knowing that we will not rest, but keep on going, keep on accelerating the chase for more and better jobs, for bigger and more ambitious projects. Therefore, the challenges are going to be there, and they're going to be superimposed on us. So we're more or less forced to deal with them properly. We are, because we need the people. And this is what Mikołaj said, that's the number one universal value are the people. So the people are going to be here, they're going to have their challenges. We need to answer their needs, answer their challenges. We're not going to stop growing. We're not going to stop going after the investments. Therefore, it's a default thing that we need to keep on solving the problems as well. It's a package deal.
Yeah, it is. Back to you, Mikołaj, because we've been talking to Marcin for quite a second now. So let's talk about some business, because the last time, in the previous episode, we talked about a few key sectors that we are focusing on and will be focusing on in the coming years. So why, in your opinion, is it worth attracting the nearshoring projects? Because the nearshoring, as you well know, is a global trend, and we're trying to attract more semiconductor, more automotive, or to be exact, e-mobility, companies to come and invest in Pomerania. Why is that? Why do we see it as an opportunity to grow as a region, to grow as a potential?
Yeah, well, we just follow the trend, yeah, of course, yes. Yeah,
Okay, so that's okay. That's it.
No, and we just take advantage of that, yeah. So that's simple as that, of course, right? And nearshoring is not like a new idea, right? When I joined Invest in Pomerania a couple of years ago, nearshoring was already on the agenda, right? So the companies realized that at that time that China was getting more and more expensive, and that was number one reason, and because as well of the at that time of the maybe lower quality of products that were delivered from China to end customers in Europe. Some companies started the strategy of having one facility in China and having another one in Europe, just to be able to deliver the service, the products, like maybe or on time and at the given quality to their customers in Europe, right? So that's, first of all, that's like a not new trend, right? Now, of course, it speeded up because of the pandemic, because of the let's say geopolitical tensions. So we are simply I think a top location in Europe for hosting this kind of project, right? Because we are still less expensive than countries in Western Europe. However, we offer the same quality of workforce as those countries, and we don't have problems with workforce yet. Yeah. So of course, this is the nearshoring. I mean, it's like a trend that simply is beneficial for us, right, as a location.
Right. And has your approach over the years towards attracting the investors, the narrative of a region that you present, has it changed? Has it changed over the years? So while we get more and more recognition, more and more rewards, and more ranks and international rankings, has narrative itself changed, or does the same thing attract investors as it was then, 5 or 10 years ago?
Maybe the narrative is sort of similar, right? Still, we advertise our region by showing the workforce, the talent pool. Then of course, we show the location, but that doesn't change. We are still in the same place. Geopolitically, we are as well in the same place. Maybe it's changed a lot, right? Because before the war in Ukraine, of course, we could advertise our region as a place where you can do logistics, both to Western European countries, Central European countries, and Russia, right? Now we don't do it anymore because of obvious reasons. But maybe our approach changed, right? So now we see that we don't have to, for example, we don't have to promote our region for such sectors as offshore wind, yeah, because it's natural, right? It's happening without our support. So what we have to do is simply to take care after the leads that come here, anyways, right? So now we focus on those sectors that need more of our activities, they need more promotion, right? So that, I think, changed, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Marcin, back to you. Mikołaj mentioned the broad talent pool as our advantage, as something that hasn't changed in the recent years as drastically as, for example, in Germany, which is lacking a talent pool. But regarding the BSS sector, your area of expertise, are we able to meet the competency requirements of advanced processes? Because it can be seen that as long as we were attracting the basic operations, right, BPOs and SSCs, we were good, but we are trying to attract more advanced processes. So, in your opinion, are we, talent-wise are we prepared to match the requirements of the market?
I would say yes, but that's a yes with a follow-up that we are looking at being prepared in the long run, because what the market is, you have to understand that this is the current family of business environment that keeps on growing. It's not as dynamic as a few years back. There is a bit of a standstill, which is a result of the overall freeze in the world's economy. But we're well aware that the world is not going to stop digitalizing. Therefore, high tech is one of the hashtags for the future. So we understand and we grasp that we need to make room for the projects that are already here to grow and to welcome new ones that will enter the market. And some of them maybe are looking forward to having maybe even one or two unicorns that are going to have a breakthrough. But even if it's not revolutionary, even if it's just a slow evolution of the level of the required talent pool, it's a gradual trend, I would say globally, but here it's just a very direct strategy to keep young talent aware, people as early as the high school or even primary school, to make them aware of the requirements of the job market in the years to come, which is twice, or I would say even more times, more challenging than before the pandemic, the change in the model of work, or the breakthroughs coming with artificial intelligence. Therefore, we need to teach not only hard skills, technical skills, but also make the young guys aware about the need for certain soft skills, working in teams, working in project ensembles, I would say, because they're not literally teams sometimes, but to make them a vibrant part of the globe, for example, the global organizations. I'm pretty sure that with the gradual growth in the numbers of well-qualified people, with the growing potential of the universities, but also primary and secondary learning, which gives fundamentals for some schemes of thinking, of understanding things the right way. And the ace up our sleeve is always the magnetic potential, the potential to draw talent from other locations. In this category, I would say the young guys, yes, but even more so the managers, the specialists, the experts, because for them, many a time, it's a choice of the best living conditions for their family and kids. So they are very eager to relocate here from other parts of Poland, but other parts of Europe or other parts of the world.
Yeah, but do we need to educate children, or do we need to educate their parents as well, to make them aware? You know, we are a young economy. Our economy is 35? Not nearly 35 years old. So we don't have a knowledge of global processes that are ongoing. So the generation of parents of 30-somethings, 40-somethings I think they also need to know more and more about the global market and more about their needs of market, so they can educate and tell and point their children into the right directions, into the directions that will be required in the coming years.
Correct, but we can agree that knowing doesn't equal understanding. So when we think about the younger generations, it's sowing seeds. It's instilling the ability of understanding and connecting the dots in a certain way, in a certain, I wouldn't want to say schematic, because schematic is a closed thing, but in a pattern. Educating the parents, yes. Let's remember that a growing number of people with, I would say, tech savvy are having kids. It's sort of or entering the age when they're starting families, and they're already working, for example, for the business services sector, which wasn't the case 10 years ago. Because let's remember that it's the youngest child of Tri-City and Pomeranian economy, the fastest growing one throughout Poland, but nevertheless it is the youngest. Not many people actually can not only understand but explain in plain words what is it all about. But on the other hand, even feeling, sensing the importance of it is a step in a good direction. So yes, everything.
But
yeah.
I would risk a statement, right? That when it comes to like the directions of future development, that and when we consider education, right, that doesn't change. Yeah, I think it's always, when you think about development and about sectors that evolve, I would risk a statement that it's STEM. I mean, like science, technology, maths, and so on, and languages. Yeah, and having that, we can develop all kind of sectors like of the future, I think.
Languages for now, but I would say learning languages in the future would be more about learning also the culture of the language spoken, because the AI breakthrough is going towards real-time translation. So in the long run, I would say maybe not in 2 years, maybe not in 5, but definitely in about 2 decades, the speaking the language will not be the edge itself, because AI can translate it, your statement for you. But understanding the cultural differences, understanding the mindset of your speaker, the person on the other side, would be crucial. And this is why we're still trending. This is why it's so important to be in this part of Europe, this part of Poland, because we're still in the cross section of all the cultures, of all the trends as well. So we gotta. I would use Marcus Aurelius, who most probably stated that luck is when opportunity means good preparation. So we're doing our best to be well prepared when the opportunities come.
Okay, we'll take the advice from the Roman Empire into the consideration. So, let's wrap it up. Thank you guys. My guests in Business Untied were Mikołaj Trunin and Marcin Grzegory from Invest in Pomerania. Thank you for listening, and see you and hear you next time.
Thank you.